Welcome to MLM Recruiting Mastery System. We're in the closing module, getting your prospects to take action. And we're going to talk about when to close and the importance of closing immediately after a presentation. So the end of a presentation during the call to action, and you know what this means. You know what I mean by this. When just say presentation's over, they ask, hey, you want to get started, right? This is some type of call to action. That's the climax. Right? Think of it as the climax of a movie. During the climax of a movie, do you go to the bathroom? No, right? During the climax, you don't, because you're going to ruin the movie. You don't check your phone or check your emails during the climax of a movie. You pay attention. So during the climax, which is during the end of a presentation, you close immediately or you ruin the presentation. Because think about this. If you go to... If you're watching a movie and all of a sudden something happens, sometimes you have to go to the bathroom, just you're watching a Netflix or DVD, and then you come back, right? Or you just say you pause and you have to continue the movie the next day. Is the movie that good? The movie's not that good because emotionally your mindset is not where the movie was. So during a climax, you have to close immediately. It's the same thing as a presentation. Your prospect will copy what you do. If you check your phone or text message or use the bathroom, they'll do the same thing. And the prospect will follow what you do, right? So it's just like no one stands up for an ovation, right? Standing ovation, but once someone stands up, everyone follows you, right? So your prospect, after the end of a presentation, they're not going to leave the room or check their phones. They're looking at what you do. And if you go out there and kind of like watching a movie, do something else, you're going to ruin the presentation. Your prospect is going to do the same thing. So when you interrupt and don't close immediately after presentation, you have ruined the presentation and climax, right? So they forget the climax, so it's hard for them to capture that excitement again. So you have to close ASAP. By the way, if this does happen, if your prospect does leave, or even during the middle of a presentation, right? I see a lot of distributors make this mistake. Just say you're presenting, talking about the 10 benefits of the product. Often your prospect has to take a call, has to use the bathroom. When he comes back, and just say you're on the benefit number 7. You just can't go in and talk about benefit number 8 because your prospect's mind is somewhere else. You kind of have to rewind a little bit to capture that feel, to get them in the right mindset. A great example is if you ever watch TV series, so they continue, like maybe they continue the next week, right? And when next week comes, they just don't start immediately where the episode left off. They actually do maybe 1 minute recap of what happened in the previous episode because you want to bring you back into that moment. It's extremely important, okay? So if you do happen to have a prospect that leaves or steps out, when you resume, you have to bring them back. So if you're doing like product benefit number 7, you just can't go to, let's go to number 8. You kind of have to, recap. Hey, before you left, we were talking about the 10 benefits of the product. We were talking about benefit number 1 was, the benefit number 2, the benefit number 3. You kind of recap a little bit, rewind and recap, and bring the prospect into that mental space, okay, of the presentation. During a presentation, you close immediately. You want to huddle immediately after a presentation. And the easiest way to close after a presentation is, if you're with the person, is turn your chair around and look at them and ask. Remember, closing is all about asking confidently. Ask immediately and ask often. And the easiest and low pressure ways to ask them, what do you like best about the presentation you just saw? Now, if they have questions, then you answer them and then you close again. Then you ask, hey, aside from that question, do you have any other questions or concerns before I help you get started? Now, if you have multiple prospects and you have ones that are not interested, let the bad prospects go and focus your time on the good prospects. Don't ever think that if you have a prospect that has lots of questions and you have one prospect ready to go, that you can convince the one with lots of questions to change their minds. That never happens. Those prospects are for follow-up. Or if they have bad prospects, you're never going to convince them, right? Actually, what happens is the bad apples will poison the good apples. Think about it. If a bad apple's in a bag, the good apples never make the bad apples bad, but the bad apples will make the good apples bad, right? So thank the bad apples for coming and get them out of the ASAP so you focus on the good prospect. Now, make the process simple as possible. So complicated things scare people away. Okay, so keep it simple. And remember, your prospects always remember their experience, and they always think they have to do what you did to them. The more simple it is, the more attractive the business will be. So keep it simple. Things that complicated, here's some things that complicate the sale, make closing harder. Like if you're doing online enrollment, don't let the prospects sign up themselves. There's too many obstacles and things that can go wrong. Never go, oh, go to my website and sign up. No, I get the information and you do the enrollment yourself. Okay, unless you're doing just say 10 signups a day, which I doubt anyone here listening to this course is doing. So do it yourself. Number 2, forms. Forms are intimidating and people are scared of commitment. 3 is products not in the packages. This is a little bit more advanced, right? If you're showcasing products not in the startup packages. And this a lot of times it happens that you have a display case, you're showing all these products. The reason why you don't do this is because it makes duplication harder. Number 1, it makes duplication harder if you have super nice product displays, right? Keep it simple. You also don't need to show all the products that the company offers. Only show products that are in the packages. Why? Because just say you have a product out in display that's so great and so cool, and your prospect wants it, but it's not in the startup package. Then you got to explain, well, yeah, you can get started this way, but if you want that product, you can get on your monthly order. You have to make a separate purchase. You're making things way, way too hard. Keep it simple. One way to keep it simple is just only showcase the products that are in the startup packages. Now, say you have a product that's really, really good, but it's not in the startup package, then make up your own startup package. And I've done that too. So our company had like an energy drink that was very popular. It was in the startup package, but just like most companies, if you purchase a certain amount of product, you can get basically join the business, right? Just get a starter kit and purchase a certain amount of product. So we came up with our own energy drink product package that we had. Energy drink package that consists of all these popular products because the company didn't, in the startup packages, didn't have that product. Okay, but keep it simple. Keep it simple, simple, simple. You never want to show products that are not in the startup packages. Now let's talk about forms. I don't like the forms because it complicates things, right? If someone's ready, if a prospect's a friend, I just ask them for the contact details and payments. If it's I just need some piece of information, just need to get you started. If you have to use them, I'm telling you, if you have to use them, have them fill out the minimum and highlight it in yellow. Just like if you ever purchase a car or home loan or fill out any type of form, the salesperson doesn't have you read the whole contract. They normally have it highlighted in yellow. Just sign here, initial here, sign here. Like renting a car, right? Sign here, initial here. And you're in and out very easily. The only one time the forms are useful is if a prospect says you join later, but he doesn't have money. Okay, this is when I like to use the form. If they don't have money, but they say, I'm going to get started later. Have the people fill out, that's when you have the people fill out the form. Why? Because when they fill out a form, okay, it increases their commitment. There's a study I've done. When people put things down in writing, increases their commitment. So have a person fill out the form. Just tell them you won't process, and you can even put the credit card information out there. I've done that too. We won't process the card, but just fill it out. We'll save it. If you won't get started until Friday, we'll save this form. We have information on Friday, but once you're ready, we can process it and start getting you earning income immediately. Those exact words are used. Okay, you make the prospect fill, in this instance, make the prospect fill as much information as possible, but don't let them know that nothing will be charged. Right? And if you ask confidently, they won't give you objections. They will trust you. And if they don't agree to it, that means there's hidden objections going on. I want to go over really quickly how to ask for the sign-up info. So you have to be confident. Confidence, okay? I know I'm covering this because I was very insecure and lacked confidence when I first did this, because for many of you, if you've never done business before, you never asked for a credit card, right? How many people have asked for a credit card and personal info? So you have to be confident. And I actually practiced in front of the mirror many, many times. Now I'm going to actually give you some exact words to use. So for almost all companies, they require the same amount of information. I'm going to go over each one of these and I'm going to explain a little bit. Okay, so the first one is, so Mr. Prospect, congratulations. We just need some information to help you get started. Number one is, what's your name and address you'd like your check to be sent? Now, the reason I love this question is because you're creating pictures of checks being sent in the mail. They're going to the mailbox collecting the checks. I know some of you do direct deposit, but still important to say this. That's the best way, instead of asking, what's your name and address? Right? What's your name and address you'd like your check to be sent to? Right? That's way, way better, more powerful. The second question was really something that stumped me because I never asked for a social security number before. But these are the magical words that work so well. So for security and tax purposes, because you'll be making income, what's your social security number? That's the words I use. For security and tax purposes, because you'll be making income, what's your social security number? Again, you're painting pictures that they'll be making income. They got to pay taxes, right? That's why you need your social security number. Or your tax ID number if you're in a different country. Third is email address, right? What's the best email address for me to send you a confirmation? That's pretty straightforward. And number 4 is very important to be asked this confidently. Is we take all the major credit cards. What's the best way for you to make your investment? Make your investment. Don't say, how would you like to pay for this? Because pay signifies money out. Investment is money coming back in. Okay, we take all the major credit cards. What's the best way for you to make your investment? So those are the magic words I use. And notice how confident I am when I ask this stuff. You have to be confident. Now, I admit it didn't take me overnight. I did practice this in front of a mirror over and over and over again. And when you say this confidently, people buy you. If you're not confident, guess what? That increases skepticism. Because people want to, are you doing something shady? Are you nervous? Why? Right? Be confident. I want to add one more thing. Is meeting after the meeting. It's called the MOM. Okay, the meeting after the meeting. Sometimes people may not sign up right away. It's called a meeting. You have to have a meeting after the meeting. And so after a presentation done, it's just like a get-together huddle of your prospect answers questions. Okay, so a prospect may not sign up right away. You may have to do another meeting. A lot of cultures, I know in Asia, very, very common, where people may not join at the hotel meeting or at the home, but they'll go out for a drink, for coffee, or some late night snack. And during that, that's when the relationship is building, questions are answered, and then that's when you actually sign them up. Or they can, even if they join, you still meet them to start the training. Okay, and I recommend, okay, even if you sign up someone there at the spot, go bring them to the meeting after meeting, and you at that over there, that's when you can start inviting. Remember, on the module, we'll talk about duplication. The key, and you're going to learn more about this, the duplication module, is the key is to get your prospect into productivity mode immediately. Okay, so you can start actually making phone calls, 3-way calls in the meeting after the meeting if your prospect is signed up.